Brews and Banner Podcast. Banner Podcast. Brews and Banner Podcast. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Brews and Banner Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I got water, I got, juice or whatever. It's like, y'all need twin legs? Matter of fact, I do.
My question to everybody is, does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world. Politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Oh. I thought you would be mine this Christmas. Ring, ring, ring. Hear the bells ringing on the Christmas tree. Minnesota when the snow is glistening. Yeah. But I'll be spending this one different. In the fireplace and your stockings missing. I just celebrate when you're not here with me. Right from a distance. So I guess I'll be on.
That is Bryson Tiller.
Yeah.
Nah, that's Jacquees.
Don't you ever,
Tiller.
yo, listen, don't do that.
You ain't hear the King of R&B in there?
Nah, don't ever do that to Bryson Tiller. Man.
Y'all notice how like during the holiday season, it's always like these stations they switch over and just play nothing but Christmas songs.
Yeah.
When they gonna update it to play some of this? Like, why is it always Mariah Carey in past? Like, it's you be hearing some updated ones. I've been hearing like updated I'd be happy hearing like updated remixes. Like I heard Taylor Swift remade this Christmas.
What?
Yeah, it was weird, bro.
I don't want to hear Taylor Swift singing this Christmas.
It was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on the station. I think like there's like some of the XM now, like the hot, like I guess the more R&B ish XM Sirius station has like mixes it in. But I think
I feel like the satellite and when you do your own playlist type of search, it does that. But when you're just on like the regular local radio station, they still playing White Christmas and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with them, but I would love to hear Bryson Tiller in the middle of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That would be dope.
Actually, I think he did a remix. So he do have a classic on there. So
nice.
They can drop that on there too. All right. What up? Welcome to Bruising Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rocket and the brew. Well, happy to fuel. I'm your host, Rob G, and with me, as always, the legendary Brew Crew. What's going on, fellas?
What is going on, everyone?
Hello.
How y'all doing today?
Solid.
Solid
as a rock.
You sophisticated?
Yes, hello.
Man, you be using a new word every week. I love it. What you use last week? I'll be reading books.
I didn't know what I said last week.
Yeah, but it's been like 3 weeks in a row. You said a word that's like, hey, you had new things in your vocab.
I was watching something and I heard a word that I'd never even heard of. I had to go look it up. It was parsimonious. I was like, what does that even mean?
Parsimonious.
What
does it mean?
It means to be kind of cheap and parse, like you
parse it out.
You kind of cheap with it. So because my man was like, the government tends to be parsimonious when it comes to
black people
things that exactly
pretty much infrastructure.
I was like it was actually
so parsimonious sound like something that you would hear on the spelling bee.
I'm a parsimonious nigga. If that's the case.
It was D1. I think his name D1.
Division
rapper.
like basketball. Oh, the basketball.
No, the rapper. He had that. I just paid off Sally Mae rap joint a while back. He was so excited.
Oh,
He's New Orleans.
Did he say parsimonious in the joint though?
Yeah, no, he was talking. And he used the word parsimonious. I was like, oh my, what does parsimonious mean?
Rapper said, "Oh my stars, this smart motherfucker." Let me Google.
Right, I had word, but now I know it. That was like word.
Then he probably spelled it wrong when he Googled it, so Google had to.
You had to Google voice that one. He had to Google voice that. Remember, I said that's a spelling bee word. That's a Google voice.
Yeah,
I know for me it would be.
It was the word of the day.
I'm gonna jump on Yoda and say I'm parsimoniously sophisticated with my money.
You're parsimoniously sophisticated with your money?
Yes.
All
That
right.
work?
I don't know if that works.
I don't know. Because sophisticatedly cheap. I don't want to say that.
Yes. I'm strategically and sophisticatedly cheap with my money.
Maybe it's you're strategically parsimonious with your money.
Yeah.
I'm sophisticatedly parsimonious. I just should have flipped them. Yeah. I'm not good with adjectives and adverbs and shit like that.
I'm not good with the English language.
No, the English language is trash, by the way. I know we got a guess. The English language is trash. We could talk about that on another episode. Pin that.
Actually fell off, so I'm waiting. I'm actually just buying time to see if they come on back in.
The English language is trash.
Oh, well, yes, it is. Absolutely. Yes.
Look, ing is the back of everything, like saying something, blah, blah, blah. But when you spell English, you use eng. Dumb.
Well, it's all dumb. I mean, just silent letters. What the fuck?
Like, right. If it's taste, why isn't it tasty at the end? And why I got to put a Y at the end to make tasty when it's already an E there?
Right.
Stupid. Dumb. That's dumb. So dumb. And you're just supposed to know it. Like, it's not anytime you ask the English teacher a question, they don't know.
Right.
They're just like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, who told you this? Like, Sir English. That's stupid. That thing was dumb.
All right. Well, I think we can. This is episode 146, Bruising Banter Podcast. So we do have a special guest with us today. All the way from the
is she back?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is back. She is the author of The Chick's Guide to Beer, the founder of Crafted for Action, and also the co-founder of Craft Women Connect, and she'll tell us more about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jen Price to the program.
Yay!
Welcome.
All right.
Hey guys.
Thank you very much for coming on.
I'm so glad y'all invited me and that y'all had a little bit of a little intro there because my internet went completely out. Internet went totally down for 5 minutes.
It's all right. Never mind.
The internet company. What's the word today? I forgot already.
Parsimonious.
Yeah, they parsimonious with their broadband. Their bandwidth ain't.
It ain't.
What's the opposite of parsimonious?
We're doing well.
Really good.
We're just glad to have you here today to talk about what's going on, what you're doing, how's it been up to. But before we get into all that, we always like to know what people are drinking. So, what are you drinking today? And we always start with a guest. So, Jen, what are you drinking today?
Non-beer. I had beer for brunch this morning. So,
solid.
I'm on vodka at this point. It's 1 o'clock.
Okay. God damn.
I
thought it was water, some cucumber juice.
No, not on Sunday.
Don't drink water on Sundays.
No, you're supposed to, celebrate. And Sunday is my celebration day. So I'm on just vodka and a little bit of mango nectar. But I did have a beer for brunch. I had Reformation's Alani. It's a rosé ale brewed with like hibiscus and a couple of other fun things. Real pretty. It's a perfect brunch beer because it's only like 5%. So I had that this morning to get things started. What about y'all? What y'all doing?
Nope, Jen. I need to know more. What's this mango nectar?
Oh, it's just Jumex. Yeah.
That made me even more confused.
You're not familiar? So it's on the International Food Aisle in the grocery store, and it's canned nectar, but other brands make mango nectar. It's just a thicker, richer version of mango juice. It has puree mixed into it, and I just normally pair that with some vodka, just a little bit to take a little bit of the edge off, because I actually like the taste of vodka normally. But I'm just easing into it. We're having like a tree trimming party at my niece's house. So this is
okay.
We're just getting started over here.
You're great. By the time you get there, you're gonna be knocking the tree over.
Probably. Maybe.
We're gonna trim it.
It's like you know me. I am that auntie. I'm that auntie. So the party's not till 4 o'clock, by the way. So I'm already
Pregame.
Yeah.
I blame y'all. If things don't last,
nope. You started drinking before you met us. You started drinking before you came on today.
True.
You bought the nectar out the refrigerator way before.
That's funny.
You're right. You're right.
I gotta get some of that.
Yeah,
it's get some mango nectar. I know you know what ours
like. You've seen it before, but they got it like ours is like in bottles, but it's like crazy thick. Yeah, the big bottle like this long. Like
it's real long. It's a real pretty bottle. But they also sell a can on that same aisle where Goya and all that stuff is. Yeah. It's they sell it in cans, so you don't have to get a big bottle because I'm not gonna go through a whole bottle, but it's great. Yeah. They make a guava nectar as well.
Yeah. How many parts vodka? How many parts juice?
Yeah, is this just for your drinking?
It's just a splash. I mean, you can use it in anything. You can drink it, but it's just really sweet. It's has a lot of sugar in it. It's thick,
So just for color. You just use it for color.
Yeah, you can take just the edge off of the vodka.
Gotcha.
Oh no, okay. I gotta
look at y'all now. Y'all gonna be drinking vodka with.
I'm going to get the Brew next, but I don't know if I can do it with vodka.
I don't really rock with vodka anymore.
Yo, you see how she got one of them cups that you can't see the inside?
You don't know how much is in there.
Oh, this coffee, y'all.
It could be anything. It could be anything.
Right,
but I'm telling you what it is.
Yeah. A little water until she starts slurring. That's not water.
Auntie, you sure you ain't drinking water? You sure you drinking water? You sure?
They know they auntie. They know that.
All right, yo, what are you drinking on?
This.
What is that?
It's a beer.
Oh, nice. All right, Lou, what did you drink?
All right, you want me to go?
So I'm drinking from Crowns and Hops.
Oh, yay. Nice. Homies.
Yeah. It's their double dry hopped hazy IPA.
Double dry.
It's enunciating.
We've been talking about these big words. Make sure it told you it was double dry hopped hazy IPA. But this is a 7%. When I had this before, I didn't realize that it was so high in ABV.
Nah, I thought it was a little bit higher than that. Or really? That's about right.
Yeah, I thought it was lower than that. I mean, it tastes lower. It definitely tastes like it'd be 7%.
Is that the point?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely delicious. It's not as hoppy as I thought it was going to be, but I know it is a double. And sometimes, even though it says double on there, you always think more hop. But to me, when it's double, it's kind of scales back on that bitterness.
Yeah, well, it should be on the nose, right? The dry hopping makes definitely more of an aromatic than a flavor.
Yeah.
But it's dopeness in a can is what it is. So shout out to Crowns and Hops.
I love them. Yes.
For black and brown people like beer, love beer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right.
I'll be passing me another, of course.
All right, Lou, what you drinking on?
I am drinking on today. We went to the Sandy Pony Donuts. They were established.
You went there?
No, we did. Virtually. This is the Happy Dessert Stout. It's a collaboration with Calvert Brewing Company, and like I said, Sandy Pony Donuts. They were established in 2015, by the way. This is a 10% dessert stout.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
it's,
10%.
Very chocolatey. A little is what it looked like, just dark as shit. Yeah. It's very, very chocolatey. It just tastes like a chocolatey glazed donut to me. Like you get a lot of the sugary sweetness to it, but not the cakey. It's just chocolate and sweet. You know what I mean? So I just feel like maybe I'm just throwing the donut in there.
Or maybe
it don't smell like cake or donut. Yeah, you dip a nice little old fashioned.
What's the percentage of
donut in there?
What's the 10. ABV on that? Oh yeah, 10. I knew it was because I left the can in here last time I had it. I was like, fuck that, I'm out of here.
Well, I'm in here. I'm right in here, and it's good.
But it is good.
Yo, should I let him in? Because he commenting all this time. I don't know.
Who?
This guy.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, don't be crashing our party. You ain't invited.
So welcome, Jen. I know I'm not virtually. Well, we're all virtual, right? But as you guys were introducing beers and you started talking vodka, I just wanted to pop on and introduce my beers.
What'd you drink?
I'm traveling today. What up, fellas? I don't want to.
He's drinking too many already.
Right? What you been drinking?
How you getting home?
Huh?
It's a long ride home.
Man, get off the thing. You can't in here.
But I needed this break, man. I couldn't do that drive last night when I got done my gig at 1 a.m. I was not making that drive last night.
All right.
Yeah. So because we're at the beer introduction section, I wanted to pop on real quick and tell you guys that I'm on site at Montclair Brewing in Montclair, New Jersey. That's how close I was that I could not come and visit our friends Denise and Leo here. And they've got a lot of exciting stuff they're going to tell us all about. But right now, what I'm having, some of which we've had, but some new stuff. So they relaunched the Raspberry Holiday Jam Ale.
Okay,
you remember this, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
So that's in my flight. So I'm doing a flight, and this is 6.5% ABV. Sorry, my list is a little long. I know y'all only did one, but
man, come on.
You got to fight. You got to fight. It got to be more than two.
Yes. So the second one, which you can see is empty right now because I really enjoy it, is my favorite, an IPA. This is their Brewer's Beer IPA. It's a 6%. It is super delicious. There are some that I know will say it smells good, but there's probably two of you guys that will say it tastes great. So the third is a coconut stout. Delicious. This is on their board number 8. This is a Bartons Bush coconut stout coming in at 7.8%. And lastly, and by the way, Jen or Jess? Jess poured me a nitro of the same coconut stout. She said, "Hey, have you ever had it?" I said, "Yeah." So she poured me up. That's a bigger glass. I'm not finishing all this, guys. And lastly, this is the Frog Hollow Orange Wheat Beer.
Keep on saying shit.
5%.
I'm not gonna drink all this, but here go another one. What kind is that? What kind is that last one?
This is the Frog Hollow Orange Wheat Beer, 6.5%.
Okay,
that's high for a
wheat beer. What that mango jalapeno?
So
they got the mango jalapeno.
Pass me another.
I think that mango jalapeno.
Hey, Dad, do they still got the mango jalapeno up there?
What's it called?
The mango jalapeno.
Stop.
He already confused. That's one we had before. It was hit summertime is when that's like seasonal. And just also, I wanted to try their sour stout, which they brought back, but that's also seasonal.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna miss it this time, but we got a lot to catch up with Leo and Denise on what's happening. As you all know, they were on our, we came here, pre-pandemic and did an interview. So I'm gonna finish chopping it up with Leo while I'm here and let you guys get back to our wonderful guest Jen. But I just wanted to pop on and say what's up to my fellas.
Thank you, Devin, on location.
No doubt.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna come back with some good takes for y'all.
Yeah, man. Be safe on the travel.
All right, man. Peace.
Devin on location.
All right, that's a new segment, guys.
That was cool. Yeah, that was like very newsy.
Our new segment here on Brews and Banter Podcast.
Your man on the street. Yeah.
Bulletin. That's a bulletin.
He said, "Back to you guys in the studio."
I'm out here on location at the.
Lou, did I get to you? What were you drinking?
Pass me another. Now we never passed myself another. So but hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna pass me another, but it's 10%. Like I was just thinking, like it's 10%. Like so, in the vein of pass me another, it tastes really good.
Right, but you can't have another one.
Right.
Can I get a small pour?
Yeah, this is probably a good enough.
Yeah,
but it's really good. It's really good. Yo, you would love it. You would really like it.
I had it.
He had it.
I did see the can. You had one. Had one already. Okay.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. All right.
G.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
19 minutes in. What are you drinking on this week?
I'm actually drinking the Caramel Apple Dream There it is.
Okay.
From Burley Oak. It's only 4.8%, but it is a
ain't no wrong with that.
Sour ale brewed with apple, caramel, and cake batter and lactose.
Damn. Does it taste like it?
It does. It tastes
you
like
taste that cake?
Yeah.
You taste that cake?
I can smell the cake more than I can really taste it. I mean, I guess you can smell.
When they say it's made with cake, is it just like, is it actual, they throwing cake in there?
They probably are throwing cake batter in there. Yeah. I don't know if I want, but you can taste, I mean, obviously the apple and the caramel are the most predominant taste because they're a dominant taste. But I think
interesting.
So does it taste like a? I would assume it tastes like a pie or something, right?
Right. Why would you put cake batter with caramel and apples? That's weird to me.
It kind of tastes like an apple pie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That seems more like pie. Like they should
maybe they like.
There ain't no apple cakes. There's no apple cake.
They make apple cakes. They make apple cakes. I've seen apple cakes.
Right. I ain't never seen no apple cake.
And like Acme, I think Acme has like an apple cake. Apple crumb cake.
Yeah. Apple crumb cake or something?
Maybe
like
an apple crumb cake.
Like an apple crumb cake. Yeah.
Okay. That's different. I get it. All right.
Cake.
Yeah.
It's still cake.
I still think pie.
Got that crumble. Yeah, that crumble got that pie.
Yeah, I still think pie is.
Yeah, like I'm talking about like a pineapple upside down cake. Is there like an apple cake like in that vein? Yeah,
I'm sure there is somewhere. I'm definitely
somebody makes it.
There ain't no fruit cakes.
Not like that. Yep. That's why it's
fruit cakes.
A weird combination to me.
Yeah. Cherry cake.
I'm gonna look it up one day and see.
Cake.
And if I find one, I'm gonna make it.
Slice for everybody.
Grape cake.
Brandon said hello, Jen.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, B.
No, but he didn't say hello to us. That's the only person. That's the only person he see on here.
That's crazy. He do that all the time, though. He always say hello to the guests. And
he probably sees y'all all the time.
Yo, B,
right.
I mean,
that's all right.
Yo, all right. So what? He don't know what the hell we going through. We might need a hello. That might change somebody's day.
He wanted a virtual hug. You're the one with the virtual hug.
Hey,
no hugs for you. No hugs for you.
All right. Well, we have some great beers, but we are excited to hear all about what Jen is up to and how she got started and all that good stuff. So,
yes,
Jen, the floor is yours. Welcome to the podcast. We want to know who you are, how you got here, what you're doing, what you're up to, where you're going, and all that good stuff. So, once again, we welcome Jen to the podcast, and the floor is yours.
Welcome.
I'm just supposed to start talking, or
just
start.
Where do you
want to start? You can start from the beginning if you want. How'd you got into craft beer?
Well, I got into craft beer, a very long time ago. But yeah, like too long ago. In the 90s, really, like in the 90s when I was in college, interning out in Colorado. It was my first time tasting like really good beer. I went to school in Florida, and we just, college, you just drink whatever's available, what's cheap, what's free. Yep. So that was mostly trash beer, but I've always liked beer. I've loved beer my whole life. But when I was in Colorado in the 90s, I got introduced to like micro brews. I think my first craft beer was Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale. And I had no idea that beer could taste like that. I had no idea that beer had that many like layers and so much flavor because, like I said, I was just drinking, I don't know, whatever I was drinking in Tallahassee, Florida. So that was my first introduction to it. Where I was interning was like right up the street from a nano brewery. So I like met the brewer, and I'd never met a brewer before. And that was, a million years ago. But fast forward to maybe the last 20 years or so, I've just been, reintroduced myself to beer and fell back in love with it. Really started studying like the craft and what it meant to be a craft brewer. Started doing some home brewing with my friend's brother a while ago. We were making horrible beer at first. We didn't know what we were doing, but it was just fun. Like the camaraderie around beer, the community that's around beer, the creativity that you can bring to it, and just the fact that for me it was just untapped and something I just didn't know much about was enough for me to kind of latch onto it. But that's kind of how I got into it. I found out very soon on that not a lot of people of color were drinking the same kind of beer that I was drinking. A lot of my friends weren't. A lot of my girlfriends weren't, or my guy friends. And so I made it a business out of just introducing people to beer. I started out doing craft beer pop-up tastings about 10 years ago, doing just tastings, pairings, classes, all about craft beer, brunches, pairing beer with food, and just made it a fun experience for myself and for others. And that's kind of where I started on the business side of things. But yeah, that's how I kind of got started.
So I got a question. So when you say that you reintroduced yourself to beer again, what, you took a hiatus off of beer or something?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, more than likely. I mean, I was just drinking whatever. Like I wasn't focused. I wasn't focused on craft beer like that, you know.
I mean, looking for nectars.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something that I was studying and focused on. And when I moved back home. I moved back to Atlanta. It's been about 15 years. And that's really when I really started just like focusing and reading and blogging about it and like being intentional about tasting beers.
Was there something about Atlanta and moving back home that triggered that for you?
That's a really good question. And I've never thought about that. It might have been just me trying to find, I moved to a neighborhood that is very beer bar heavy, and a really good beer bar opened up right across the street from where I live. So it might have just been access. Mm-hmm. I used to hang out there a whole lot and just drink and hang out with the bartenders. And they would always, just have me tasting all new stuff, whatever they got new that week or that day. And I was like, dang, this is so much more interesting than like spirits, because there's something new. It's so much all the time, like too much to even keep up with. Like,
yes, that's the best. That's the great part in the downside of it. You may get a one-on-one and never be able to find it, or you may tell us about a beer and we go like, it's not around. Yeah, but to taste something different is.
Yeah. And then I enjoyed the fact that things could be really, like you said, really hyper local. So I could have a beer that was created like, in this city, and I could go talk to that brewer, and brewers and breweries are pretty accessible. At least they are in Atlanta. You can go and talk to anybody, and they'll take you to the back and show you what, the ingredients or whatever. So I just love the access of craft beer and how close you could really get to all of it. I'd never experienced anything like that in the, in the beverage world. So
yeah, I think that part's important, because if you think about it, like you can go into a bar anytime and get like a vodka or get whiskey or whatever your choice of spirit is, but you'll never see the person that made that.
Yeah,
you're right.
Never see the process. Yeah. And most of them people don't want them to do with you anyway, just to get the liquor.
Yeah,
exactly. And
it seems like all the brewers that have time, they got time. They want to talk to you and let you know what it took to make this beer. Yeah, exactly. and they're right behind the wall back there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I really that's probably what kind of jumped it off for me again here once I moved back home.
Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite style of beer?
Now, I don't really have one. I think what I've been drinking a lot lately are lagers. This time of year, I really like Doppels and Rausch beers, like smoky beers, or a Doppelbock or some kind of really deep lager. This time of year, it's normally, or like any kind of Bock right now. That's what I'm normally drinking.
So the Atlanta scene is kind of popping with craft brew and things like that. But where would you go to? Would you go to a brewery to get that, or would you go to a beer store to get one of those seasonal beers for yourself today?
I would much prefer to go to a brewery just to have it there.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, like, is there a brewery in the Atlanta area that you could go and get one of those?
Yeah.
Or would you have to settle for this? Good.
No. One of my favorite lager breweries here, or breweries that focus on lagers, would be like Tucker Brewing, and does a lot of good lagers. Round Trip Brewing does good lagers. That's probably where I would go if I had to go somewhere today. I'd probably go to Round Trip.
Cool.
And grab one. Yeah.
So with these breweries being in Atlanta, right? Because I never thought. I'm just thinking.
Why are you asking that question? You seem real excited.
Because no. Because I'm just thinking, because when you think of Atlanta, first thing that comes to my head is black, right?
Strippers.
Yeah, and strippers too. but I just think black as soon as I hear Atlanta, right? But I know these breweries aren't like black-owned breweries that you're going into. Do you still get that feeling when you go, or the looks or anything going into a brewery in Atlanta?
Or just before you even answer that, to add on, do you find more black people at the breweries because you're in Atlanta?
Because you're in Atlanta, yeah.
To answer your first question, I mean, if you're talking about Atlanta proper, because people call Atlanta, and it's not really Atlanta. Like this, Atlanta proper is actually not very big. It's mostly the stuff inside of 285. There's not one brewery that I've been to in Atlanta proper that I would go into and someone would look at me crazy, or anyone would, because it's Atlanta.
Right.
When you get out into the suburbs, you may, you might.
Gotcha.
But that never bothers me. I mean, I don't feel uncomfortable, or most places that I go to. I've been a minority my whole life. I'm always in my everyday life. I work with a lot of old white men all the time. I guess I'm used to it and immune. Like, it doesn't bother me to be the only, because it happens a lot. But that was one of the reasons why we started Craft Women Connect. I know we'll get to that later, but the group that we started, Craft Women Connect, was because a few of us Black women who were drinking beer in Atlanta, it would be just like two of us somewhere. We're like, this is actually pretty whack. And we know there's more than two Black women in Atlanta who like beer. So it started out with 5 of us, and then we grew. And we're a group that focuses on all women. You don't have to be Black to be a part of our group. But it happens to be that we're founded by all Black women. But that was one of the reasons why we started the group, is so that we weren't the only ones when we went to a brewery, or the only women who actually knew something about beer and liked beer.
Right.
And to your second question, you do see, I think you probably do see more Black people at breweries here because of our city, and because we are creating like a really close-knit community among us who like to go out and enjoy really good beer. And it's growing slowly, but it's growing. And and I think that's the way to do it, right? Because it's intentional and it's actually authentic. We're not just like, it's not trendy. We're not just going to drink beers because it's the trend, but we're all drinking beers because we happen to like it. And we have people brewing. We have people starting breweries, and our breweries and planning, and people who want to learn about brewing. And, just the gamut of us here, from beginners to, cicerones and everyone in between who are Black and who are women and who are enjoying beer in Atlanta. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now you're also an author, so that was like some of the knowledge and just the education was the reason that you wanted to write the book, and some of that was all that behind it.
Yep. So when I first started doing those classes and tastings and pairings that I mentioned earlier, I was also blogging at the same time, and people, I found that most of the people who would come to my classes or to my events were women, and they would just ask me all kinds of questions about beer. And so that's when I started my blog, just to explain, what are hops? What are the ingredients in beer? How's beer made? And this is me explaining as I'm learning, right? Because I'm not wasn't an expert then, not one now. I'm just always just learning and trying to share information. But that's when I started the book, The Chick's Guide to Beer. I was just like, you know what? I should put all this stuff into one manual. It's more of a manual than a book. And I wanted it to be very easy to read. It's 7 simple rules for people who are novices in the craft beer world. And it's just meant to be an introduction and a way to get your feet wet and to understand some of the basics about beer. So, yeah, it was a derivative of my blogs and just my conversations that I would have with women about beer and like, how can I learn more? And there weren't many books out there there were really, really big books, but not a whole lot of just easy to read, smaller kind of fun books. So that's why
something that's easily digested.
Because you don't need to be talking about all that in the beer book. To me, I mean,
I agree.
it as a reference, but because I have those books too. I have, Encyclopedia of Beer. I got, the essential beer books that everyone has.
But that's like what you want to get into when you want to really, but when you want to just start learning, like you give me a book that's 1,300 pages, I'm never going to drink a beer.
Right. I'm never going to do that. Yeah, I'm just going to drink beer. I'm not going to read that book. So.
right.
Yeah.
I may not drink the beer. I may not drink the beer with you if you made me read a book that long. Just to drink this beer, like ew.
Right. Exactly.
But what's those books like? Because I haven't looked at any of them. So those books, it sounds like they give you more information than what you really need at that time. Like if I was going into like trying to make beer or something, maybe that information
would be a Cicerone or something like that.
But not if I'm just trying to learn about what I'm drinking. Like
I just want to know the styles. Like what are the styles of beer?
Right.
I'm just that kind of person. Like sometimes if I find something that I really like, I do like a deep dive into it. So like the first book I had was just like a beer journal, which I thought was really good because it gave just some brief descriptions of the beer styles. Like you said, you'll know what you're drinking, and it had pages so you could write down your beers and the label and rate it and talk. It helped me understand the styles that I really like. So I could go back to that journal and just refer and understand. Okay, so I don't like this kind of hop, because I would write down all that stuff. And then it was good to have the other book with me because it was deeper and it was more educational. I would take both of those with me to the pub across the street from me and just study and drink and learn. And it really did pique my interest to the point that I felt like, okay, I would love to make this, I would love to be in this industry somehow. And I was trying to figure out, my path for doing that. Yeah, it was very intriguing for me.
All right. Now you're also a well documented, because you documented yourself in terms about your entrepreneurial
oversharing
experience.
My oversharing. Yeah. Well, so I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm not.
Oh no. You can go.
I was going to say that doing all that reading, and like I said, I was trying to figure out like what I was going to do and how I could be in this space and what my lane was going to be. That's when I decided that I wanted to do. I was still doing the classes and the workshops, and I wanted like a home for those. But I also, when I would have my classes, people would come up to me afterwards and try to buy like the beer from me that I had if I had any left over. Technically can't sell it, so I would just give it away. But I thought that, it would be a really good combination to have a space where you could go learn about beer and go buy beer, kind of in the same place. And that's where the idea for the Atlanta Beer Boutique was born, was, me thinking about, where would I like to go? And where would my peers like to go? Where would other women feel comfortable going? What kind of space could I create that not just caters to women, but that feels welcoming to all? So it's not as narrow as just being a guy place or just being a ladies place, but a place that anyone could feel welcome in, no matter your education about beer, no matter how you got into it. Because sometimes beer, some beer bars and some breweries used to, and I don't think they do that now, but it used to be sort of it might have been a self-imposed feeling, or it might have been a feeling that you felt when you went there, that if you didn't know enough, that you couldn't ask questions and you just may not know how to approach the topic at all. And so that keeps a lot of people out. That's those invisible barriers that are there that really keep people out, those, gatekeeping kinds of environments where folks won't want to enter. But I was like, well, let me find something or create a space that feels good, open, welcoming. Anyone can be there. I'm there. So everyone's welcome. And that's how Atlanta Beer Boutique was. The idea and vision for that was born.
It's weird that you said that though, because it's funny how like people go to a brewery but won't feel comfortable like asking questions about the beer sometimes. But when you go to a bar and the bartender say, "Oh, you ever tried such and such a drink?" You be like, "What's in it?"
Yeah.
So you'll ask questions about what's in the drink. Yeah. But when you go to a brewery,
I think that may be because like people had gin before, people had vodka before, and like you like what's in it, and they're like, oh, it's vodka, orange juice, and Sprite, and you like, oh, I know those three things.
I've had all those things.
But when you had all of them together, ugh.
That's delicious. That's a 007. That's really, really good. I don't know why it's called a 007.
I'm just saying, sometimes the combinations ain't right.
Yeah, right. Vodka, orange juice, and Sprite is delicious. But anyway, but like when you say what's in this beer, and they're like hops, pomegranates, and malts, and you're just like, I don't even know if you can eat a malt. Like what is, you know what I mean? And you may be afraid to ask that question.
Yeah,
I guess where because you've had those experiences with the spirits before, and you've never had like, oh, I can taste this malt is different.
Yeah, but then most people that go to a brewery, it's not their first time drinking a beer. Like people's first beer experience ain't in a brewery.
That's true.
That is very true. That's very true. Because there was that era or that time period in beer when it was it got real weird and snooty. I know y'all remember it, where it was just very exclusive. It felt like that I don't think people feel that way now, but I remember the time period where it was all about like, I don't know, just like the language and having the vocabulary and spouting off on, the beers that you've had and being able to articulate things. And it was just beer was going in a weird direction for a hot second that just wasn't welcoming, and it was exclusive, and it was just kind of like, well, I've had, this one, and if you've never heard of this, you never had Pliny the Elder, you've never, like, no, I never had that. Like, it's a million years.
Right.
I don't know.
That's kind of like the gatekeeping. And with craft beer being like so many one and dones, like, of course I never had it. You was in California 2 years ago, and now you're talking to me in Atlanta about some goddamn beer. Like, get out of my face. Right. That's kind of like, whereas you've had Tito's vodka is everywhere. Like it ain't hard to get Tito's. So when somebody say I got this Tito's mixed with blah blah blah, you're like, oh, I didn't have that. Yeah, let's bring that on in here. When you get that Shanghai, whatever Devin be talking about. You get
that's a barrier. You're right. What you're saying, those are those invisible barriers that I think are being challenged right now lately, are being shattered, and people are just like, F that barrier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's also like, I feel like the brewers I don't know, I wasn't around beer. It feels like when I've gone around beer, and maybe because it's been part of the podcast, the brewers that we've spoken to and people that in craft beer we've spoken to have always been so open, and the community, black and white and Hispanic and other, have always been so welcoming. I don't know that gatekeeping part, so that's kind of foreign to me. But I could see it. I could definitely see it. But I feel like now when I walk into a brewery, if I talk to the brewer or I talk to the beer tender, you're going to answer my questions. And if you don't answer my questions, then there's something wrong with your brewery.
And some of that is on us too, to assert ourselves in spaces where we may not see people who look like us. It doesn't mean we can't be there.
Like, you should want to talk to me about your beer.
You should. And like you said, a lot of them do. We just need to also feel like and understand, not feel like, but know that we belong in a brewery also. So we can go there too, All
right.
Yeah.
Now just going back, because like you said, you were an overshare, I guess. But I mean, I'm sure because entrepreneurship is a hard thing. Opening up a business is hard. So I'm sure it's kind of cathartic to just share and like let some of this let some of it go.
Absolutely.
But you did kind of recently kind of pivoted too as well in terms of what is next for Atlanta Beer Boutique as well, correct?
Yeah, you're right. And I had to, I shared a lot of my journey with y'all, with everybody, from finding my first location to building it out. And, up until the point where I was going to get liquor licenses, and then the world shut down and I just couldn't wait. Like I didn't have a liquor license, so I couldn't sell anything. I couldn't make any revenues in that space that I had. The space that I had was also very small, intimate, perfect pre-COVID, and probably okay now, but right during the pandemic, it didn't have a patio. It was tiny. And I also still wasn't open yet. I was still like waiting for the city to open. My landlord wasn't real lenient about like giving me any concessions on my rent. And in hindsight, I know it's because they were like, "Oh, this is not going to last long." I mean, nobody knew it was going to be like 2 years later, and like people are struggling.
Right.
Yeah, so it was just a weird time, and I got really far and had a soft launch and everything, and just could never open my space. And the bank. I had an SBA loan, right? So that's a federal government loan, and it had some weirdness happening with that. But my bank I actually had a really, really good bank, and they were very amenable to me having a deferment period of forbearance where I wasn't paying the loan back, but they were also trying to help me find another location, but it had to meet certain requirements because I spent so much of my money building out the first space. So I was just in a really weird position where I had all this equipment, I had furniture, I could move into a space, but it had to be the right price point, and it had to make, a certain amount of money back per the bank standards. And we just could not find a space that would work for both of us. And just recently auctioned off all of the stuff that I bought with my bank loan, started paying, used that to pay down the loan that I had with the bank, as well as some of the grants that I had gotten. I got a good amount of grants that I was just holding on to. I'd applied for them during COVID and just holding on to them, waiting to open up. But I applied that to my balance. And now I'm, working with the bank to figure out how to pay that back. But it was a really tough 2 years working through that. But I've committed myself to craft beer and to the community part of it. During that time, I got a chance to just kind of pause. And I mean, I've been working on opening a craft beer store for like 5 years straight, guys. I was just exhausting. Right. But I had a chance to just take a break and take a beat and take a breath and like really think, okay, what is it that you like about this? Like, what is it about craft beer? If you could never open a brick and mortar. And it really made me think about the sustainability of a brick and mortar business, a business that relies on physical contact and people being in touch with each other. Like, how resilient of a business model is that really? I think the pandemic made a lot of people think about that kind of stuff, right? Where I wasn't really thinking about that initially. So I was like, okay, well, just reassessing, what is it that you love? And I, came to the realization that I love like the community around beer. Beer is like the vehicle, but I love people. I love connecting. I love creating opportunities for people to connect and to be around each other and to learn and share. Because like beer in a brewery, you ain't just talking about beer. Like all kinds of conversations happen in breweries, as you know, or around or at someone's house just drinking a beer. Like it just kind of lubricates the conversation and the vibe. And so that's what I like. I like community. I like bringing people together. And so that's when I started thinking about, let's get back to the core of things and how can you pivot that into something that could work right now? And that's when I launched Crafted for Action, which is this year was my first hybrid craft beer conference in May. And it was launched during American Craft Beer Week, also my birthday week. And it was my first one. And I'm planning right now for the next one, next May of 22. And plan for that to be a mostly in-person conference here in Atlanta.
Yeah, because I got the chance to jump in on some of the panel discussions and stuff like that. So, and most of the people who were either involved or attended said the fact that you got it done in kind of a short period of time, it was wonderfully executed.
Very short.
But they said you executed it well, so kudos to you. I guess because of some of that planning from just already knowing I need to do this and this because of the 5 years with Atlanta Beer Boutique. You was like, I already know I need to get these things checked off to make it work. So you were already in that mindset to make things happen. So and everybody who were either part of it or attended some of the panel or some of the discussions said it was really well done, and they couldn't wait till they could actually come. And like you said, most of the things will be in May 2022 will be in person. So that'd be cool because everybody loves Atlanta.
I was just thinking, like, as you were talking though, like all of the stuff that you went through with the Atlanta Beer Boutique, like what kind of headspace were you in, like mentally? Because that sounds like a lot of shit. Like,
It was not to get too personal, but 2020 started off with me losing my father on January 1st. So the year was already in the shitter for me, starting at the top of the year.
Right. What other way can you put that?
Right.
Yes.
It was in the shitter. That's basically it. And then that happened with my business, and it was just a lot. It was a lot of loss for me. And then having the sort of the, and I say false now because I didn't get to start my business, but having hope of, okay, maybe I can open again. Maybe I can make something happen. I had like 9 months of that, of working with the bank and trying to find a second location. It was an emotional roller coaster, to be totally honest with you. It was just up and down, up and down, up and down for almost 2 years. And I'm actually relieved that now I know that I'm not going to open ABB right now. I'm not to say that it won't open in the future, but there is a weight lifted off of my shoulder to have that chapter just closed.
Yeah.
It gives me the space to actually think, first of all. It has been an emotional roller coaster leading up to it, just working. There hasn't been a week or some time that I haven't been focusing on opening a beer store in the past 5 years. Like, it's all that I've been working on. And I don't say that begrudgingly, like I'm not upset about it at all. I've learned so much. I never saw myself as a business owner or an entrepreneur ever. Just wasn't something I thought that I would do or want to do or be able to do. But it has been exhausting. And so I'm excited to just close that chapter, to work on Crafted for Action. It's still in the same community, in the same space. The community in general has been, y'all, I just cannot say, I wouldn't be here and be able to show my face and be doing stuff like this and talking about a new business if it wasn't for the supportive community that we have in craft beer.
Yeah.
It has been phenomenal.
Nice.
Like, and just in general, like I went to school in Florida. I went back to my homecoming in October, and I almost didn't go because I was like, everybody's going to walk up to me and say, how's the beer shop? What's going on? How's ABB? And everybody did. And what was happening? Everybody was like, man, Price, don't worry. You got this, JP, whatever's next. Like the love that I got on the other end of being able to talk about the loss has been it has boosted me, has buoyed me. It has really been what I've needed to create a foundation to go to the next thing. And so thank you to y'all and everyone else out there who's ever said a kind word or, liked the post or, commented or anything. It's incredible, this community that we've created.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
I know you've taken a step back, and then I guess I should. So now that you've been through this journey and probably even know more about craft beer now than you did when you made the first book, like, are you thinking about like, hey, I need a 2.0 of the book? Like, have you thought about that as well?
I actually am. A couple of different book ideas I have. Like, I love craft beer cocktails, so I was thinking of doing a craft beer cocktail book. I wanted to do
craft beer cocktail. Stop.
Yeah.
Let's pause. So when you say craft beer cocktail, because I obviously never had a craft beer cocktail. What?
Never?
Really?
What's a craft beer?
Is that's something that's going around? Like, that's the thing to do,
right?
I've been making them for a while.
Okay, so give me one. Name one. Like, what's
one of my go-tos is like a mojito, but it's with beer, and instead of ginger beer, you use beer. Yeah, you can use beer in place of any. You can use beer in place of any sparkling element in a cocktail.
Where have I been?
I don't know where you been. I mean, do you put like bourbon in your stouts? Do you put like a shot of bourbon?
Nah. What? That just sounds like too much for me. A shot of bourbon.
It is.
That's an everyday thing. Like, hey guys, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, it's way too much. That's the point. No.
You ever want to hype up your stuff? Just throw a shot of bourbon in.
Yeah, some bourbon or some whiskey in there. Some Baileys.
I guess what's that? A Jaeger?
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
The Jaeger bombs was like that back in the.
Oh, you're right. That was so disgusting.
Oh yeah, and like okay, so
bad. But you're right. Jaeger bomb was probably like the first craft beer cocktail. We used to make this punch. We make this party punch with vodka, beer, and I used it. So I created this one cocktail because someone left some really cheap beer at my house. And I was like, I could throw it away. Not cheap, but like something I don't really like. But so beer, vodka, and concentrated lemonade or concentrated limeade in the summertime over ice. It is ridiculous. It's called Cowboy Lemonade. It is so good. It's so good. All y'all I'm gonna send y'all the recipe.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need some recipes on a couple of
a craft beer cocktail recipe book.
That's what I'm working. So I'm thinking of doing something like that. I was trying to have it ready for this holiday, but that's not going to happen. I mean, this was my thought back in May when I was just trying to figure out my life, but it's a really good idea for next year. But I've been thinking about doing that for a book. And then a few other ideas, but that's probably the one that's closest to being something that I would actually explore. I was going to do like a series of smaller books, of like glassware, a small book on beer styles, a small book on, I don't know, I like little cute packaging. So I'd already like envision what that would look like in like a set of books, coaster size books.
That sounds neat though. Yeah. If they're like small like that and they all got different topics, that might be tight.
Now since you are actually kind of, you started off in like pop-ups, like are you going to do like a craft beer cocktail pop-up type of things? Or are you going to do that kind of stuff as well?
I did one of those years ago. It was a cocktail workshop. It was awesome. So my goal in 2022 is to bring back, so Crafted for Action is it is an events company. And the signature event of Crafted for Action is Craft Beer Con, the Craft Beer Conference. But I am excited about bringing back more of the events that I used to do back in the day. One of the things that I really like to do is, and I was talking to some more people who are in different spaces where you also may not see a lot of Black people, like cycling, camping, Pilates, about kind of doing more cross-pollination kind of events that bring two different groups together that may not normally be together.
You're right. Because when you said Pilates, all I could do was laugh.
My sister is an international Pilates instructor.
Is she?
Yes.
How many Black people does she? Oh no, look her up. Let's look her up.
Look up Mickey how many? Mickipit. She's a Pilates like serious international instructor. So we do like pints and Pilates together. I'm gonna do more of those pop-up style events leading up to Crafted for Action Craft Beer Con. So the conference will be the signature event in May, and then we'll have, I'm hopefully doing monthly events, something fun and interesting leading up to that, and then in the months following. So
do you already have a date for Crafted Con?
It's normally American Craft Beer Week is normally the second week of May. So we're looking at May starting on that Wednesday. So I think it's the 11th through the 14th.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta mark my calendars.
Please do. And it's my birthday week. So it's also my birthday celebration.
Yeah.
We about to come to Atlanta and tear that shit up.
You should. Atlanta will show you a good time.
Yes, they will.
We like Atlanta. We've all been.
Yeah, we frequent the Atlanta area.
Yeah, the Atlanta area.
Now I know you spoke briefly about Craft Women Connect. Like, so what exactly is Craft Beer Connect, Craft Women Connect, and like how did it get started, and what is it doing? What's the purpose and stuff like that? Because I know they actually just had a lounge at the Dames and Dregs
Dames and Dregs Beer Festival. Yeah, so it was founded. I guess we're going on our third year. By myself, Chris, aka the Craft Beer Connoisseur, Michelle Turner, who's excited to feast, and Beers a Go Go, Caitlin and Brittany. So the five of us co-founded Craft Women Connect, and it was, we started as a way to have beer meetups, and like I said earlier, to not be the only women or the only women of color at breweries, just to have some people to hang out with and drink with. But we've grown it into an opportunity to not only create camaraderie among women, but to educate, to do brew days together, to talk about careers and career moves. And, we've, when we started, it was before the pandemic. So we spent the most of 2020 and 21 on Zoom or in Clubhouse rooms, just creating and broadening our community there. And now that we're back out and about, we do monthly meetups and hangouts together in the city. Most of our members are here in Atlanta, but we have about 600 in our Facebook private group, and nice. good Instagram following. And we do partner with local breweries to do collaborations. We've done collaborations with Reformation Brewing, with Pontoon, Lost Druid. And we did get to have a fun lounge at the Dames and Dregs Beer Festival, which is, I think, is the only women-focused, or the first one, women-focused beer festival and conference that's here in Atlanta. So we had a really fun activation there. We did like a campfire scene. We partnered with our friend Nick, who owns Outdoor Gear and Beer. He's one of those people who I said are doing things that are different for his space. He's a Black guy who is an outdoorsman, like super rugged, goes camping, hiking for week-long treks in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness. And but we had him come out and set up a camp scene. So he brought his overlanding truck, he has a truck that has a tent that's on top of it, so that when it's cold out, or if you're in a place where there's bears or whatever, you can be in a tent on top of your truck. He's like legit, like he's so serious. Look up Outdoor Gear and Beer. His name is Nick Brooks.
She know everybody.
But,
off the top of her head, too, like
right.
But so he set up a campfire scene for us. We had s'mores, we had Christmas tree ornament decorating and tree trimming, and we just had a good time out there. And it was actually really nice in Atlanta that Saturday. It was that last or 2 Saturdays ago? We were out there hanging out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah.
What's up? That is
interesting though. I don't know too much about going somewhere where there's bears, but hey,
if you can be on your top of your car on a tent, then
they can climb.
They can, and they strong. They definitely strong.
It's a whole setup. You just got to see it. I don't think he intentionally goes where there are bears, but he's been to some very rugged places. He's, he and his family go. His wife and his 2 children go and camp, and they're scouts, and they're really, really into it. When Craft Women Connect does hiking trips, I actually met him with my book. So before Craft Women Connect, I was doing a series called Chicks Get Lit. And it was
Chicks Get Lit.
It was drinking, but it was really supposed to be like about the book. But we did a couple of hiking trips with him. He, took us out on a few really good hikes. And we've done some with Craft Women Connect as well with Nick and his group, he and his wife. And it's just a good time. It's a different, like I said, you don't see a lot of people camping and hiking. You don't see a lot of people, Black folks drinking beer. And just to put those two together and create like another community and cross section of.
Yeah, because you definitely see a lot of white people out there camping and drinking beer.
Both. Yeah. Doing both. So
I can't wait.
We do.
So you definitely are an event planner by nature. It's just like it's in you. It's like I just love doing events. Yeah. Like Chicks Get Lit sound crazy.
Yeah, it was a good time. That was a good era. I could bring that back when I do another book. Yeah.
Now, can you still get the book?
It's on Amazon. The Chicks Guide to Beer is on Amazon.
All right,
and it is for guys as well.
Yeah. I've had a couple guys say that, but it's a good book. Like it's not like women's secrets in there. It's like I call it that because most of the people who were at my first events were ladies, and they were like, "I need more information," so I did the book for them. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. We know. I think Mickey uses it as like some of her Mickey from Black and Brew Chicago uses it as her one of her training guides.
Absolutely, I'm so thankful for her. She came down to Dames and Dregs too to hang out with us for the weekend. We had a great time. Yeah, if you guys can come back next year, and it's normally in August. They just did it this year in December because of COVID and everything. But it's normally like right around Fresh Fest. But if you guys ever have a chance to come down to it, I would recommend it. It's a really good festival.
Cool. Yeah.
What's up?
Will we be trying a different festival?
What's that? What'd you say?
I said, will we go to a different festival around Fresh Fest?
She said it's around. She didn't say it's not the same.
And it's Barrel and Flow.
Barrel and Flow. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that was the old Fresh. Yeah, that was, I guess, I don't know. So yeah, so when was Barrel and Flow?
That was September.
It was in September.
It was September the 11th.
Right, it sure was.
This year, but I think they might be going back to August. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to marry. I don't know. You know.
True. Yeah, I didn't get to make it.
I think they did say it's going to be August, didn't they? Is that official?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask Day and see what day it is. Because I'm just curious.
Yeah, I gotta go. I've never been. I have to go.
No,
really?
You have to go.
No, I know.
We definitely have to go. It's a nice event.
I heard it's
a bunch of us.
I know. I've met Mike several times.
And then you can
is Dames and Dregs
black?
It's a black woman, and a Hispanic male that are the organizers.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know.
Is that what you was going for, Luke?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, is it more centered around women and black folks? Yeah,
it's centered around women. It's a woman focused event. One of the organizers is a black woman, but it is it's to celebrate women in craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to that event, is there a lot of black women at that event?
Probably more than any other black festival that I've seen. Any other beer festival that I've seen, it probably has more.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to us, because we are like a conglomerate now. Right. Probably, I would say about 20 women from Craft Women Connect that, very regularly show up at things and buy tickets and come to stuff. But then there's also others. But we've like all the if it's a black woman in craft beer in Atlanta, they're probably a part of our group.
Mm-hmm. Even one of our recent guests was down there. There too. LaTroya was down there as well.
I love LaTroya. I knew you were gonna say that. We love her. She's a part of our group too. And we went up to Chattanooga for one of her taste one of her beer, surprise her for one of her beer tastings. And
nice.
Yeah, she's dope. She's really good. Yeah, I'm excited for her future.
Oh, she's from Chattanooga.
Chattown. Chattanooga.
Now, if somebody came to you and said, "You know what? I was really thinking about doing this beer bottle business," like, would you say, "Nah, I don't mess with it"? Like, what would be the advice for them that you would give to them?
To open a beer shop, I would definitely give them the whole blueprint. I would not recommend it. It was a function of bad timing for me. I would do it again. But I've learned so much more, and I would probably be so much smarter at it to open another one. But one of my goals is to create sort of like a playbook on how to open a beer business. And I know it's specific everywhere you go. And in Georgia, we have our own set of laws and our own very weird kind of do's and don'ts and things you can and can't do. So I would, if anyone has any questions about how to start and where to start, people have DM me all the time. I'm so giving with information. The more the merrier, right? Like we need to really increase our ownership in this industry. We do. We need to stake our claim because we consume like nobody's business, and we should definitely be a part of leading the direction of this industry. We are extremely influential. People want to copy us all the time. People love our culture and our vibe and our energy, and we can make a really different and more interesting mark in craft beer too. I believe it. I mean, I see the home brewers. I know you probably see it where you are. The home brewers that I know in Atlanta are brewing stuff that I've never, from ingredients that I've never thought to put together and that no other brewery is putting together on a large scale. So we're a part of this conversation. We are creative, and we are, just as likely and just as I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but we have just as much right to have ownership and to have a piece of industry as anybody else. So
absolutely,
Facts. Now, I know you mentioned it earlier. Do you still homebrew, or you gave that up?
Oh, I'm so trash at it. I don't bad, and I don't have the space to do it. But I said I was going to start hanging out at Atlantucky. They're going to open up their brew house soon. So it's not home brewing, but they have a good system there. I'm excited to go check it out. Skinny told me I could come check it out this week because they've gotten all their stuff in place. So,
nice.
But yeah, I've done some home brewing with Art Culture. Are you familiar with them? Isaiah and Shaq and
we met Shaq. He's a good dude. We met him at Barrel Flow. We sampled some of his beer.
Yeah. The wife, Josie, who's married to Isaiah, one of the owners, they're all owners, has done homebrew days with us at her house. So yeah, I get to do it with Craft Women Connect, but I don't have the equipment and all that stuff.
Okay.
I don't have the space for it either. But
gotcha.
I said I was gonna get back into it, just trying to try my hand at it again.
Right. Because I'm sure what you've learned over the course of years, I'm sure you're not trash anymore.
Yeah, you'd be better. Yeah.
You know what? It's so meticulous. I learned that also brewing with Soul Brothers. I don't know if you know Corey Hinton, but Soul Brothers Brewing. He did a homebrew day for Crafted for Action for my beer conference. We had one of the workshops was a brew day that he hosted at his house, and things have changed so much now. He has a laptop and his system is not computerized, but he can measure, and it's so much more accurate now versus what I was doing, like pitching hops. And so I would love to try it again with the technology that's available now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That's just scary to me. I mean,
I do have a question.
What's up?
You make these beer cocktails. Would you happen to recommend a beer cocktail for the holiday season? Yeah, absolutely. A beer cocktail for the holiday season.
Yeah.
Well, send it to us.
You can say it for the people, but send it to us too.
So I did one last fall. We're going into the winter time. So I would probably do something like with a spiced beer. So maybe a Belgian beer, a quad, or maybe even a triple, because it has the clove and like allspice flavors in there. I would probably add like whiskey to something like that.
Yes.
Something dark, and maybe even like a little bit of bitters and a herb, just to kind of balance out some of the sweetness, because Belgians can be a little sugary sometimes, especially if it's a quad. But something along those lines would be good, and maybe throw a cinnamon stick in there.
I want to buy your book. I'm make this book because everybody in this time of the year wants to make a stout, and I knew in my mind that you were going to combine a stout with one of these cocktails, and I'm so glad you didn't. And that's the reason why I'm endorsing your book, because you didn't. Like, that's against the grain, and I appreciate that. I'll buy it.
I'm with you too. Yeah. People think that this is like the stout season. And first of all, stout season is any day of the week. I do stouts in the summer.
That's true. Yes, it is. That's true.
Yeah, but this time of year, like a lager, like I said earlier, a quad, or maybe even like a barley wine is good.
Yes, that's my.
Scotch ales are good.
I can see why they would go with there, because if you had like a chocolate stout and you add like a peppermint vodka, that would give you that.
Well, yeah, but it seems that's easy. That's easy though, Rod. That's what I'm saying.
But it's a holiday.
But she thought outside the box. She was outside the box with it. Like, yeah, she could put that chocolate stout with the peppermint, that'd be in there.
Right.
But she also got this. I feel what y'all saying.
Keep in mind, Robert sounds like a nigga that's not going to be doing the book.
Factual. That's actual and factual. And if you ask Rob to do the book, we would get the peppermint and the stout. And we need an author for Jen. An author who's creative is going to think outside the box and give me what she gave me.
Right, but she gave you a winter cocktail. A winter cocktail. I was talking about like for Christmas time. I want something pepperminty. And how do I get peppermint?
Winter and the holiday season are synonymous.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking winter, like a winter
I like this barley wine idea. I'm really
good. Winter warmer. You can do barley wine warm.
A purple-ish
So you can do that warm, like a hot toddy with, you can warm barley wine up because it doesn't need to be cold anyway. Barley wine should be room temp when you drink it. So you can do it almost like a mulled wine sort of situation. So barley wine, a hot toddy. So like with some honey and lemon and whiskey.
Jen, you don't have to sell me no more. Jen,
okay.
It's good. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
I don't like mint. I hate peppermint. So I wouldn't.
I don't like mint in my drinks either.
I like fresh mint.
I like mojitos though. I love mojitos.
Exactly.
I don't like
mint. Oh, you said not peppermint.
Yes, I like mint. Just
fresh,
mint.
Fresh mint. You like green mint.
Don't put no pepper or spear in front of my mint.
Exactly. I'm with you, man. See, we on the same page.
That's why I'm the hair. Book. I can't wait.
It's the hair.
The book that doesn't yet exist. All right, it may be. So now I gotta write this book. Thanks.
Well, now you don't even have to write the book. You could just send me the recipes.
Send you some recipe cards.
Yeah. I'll keep the notes, and when you're ready to write the book, I'll send them right on back to you. You could be edited all up.
Or it could be an IGTV series where you actually just make the cocktail and then it's right there. Post it. Bang.
True.
That way you only got to worry about writing down nothing.
right.
That's true too. But I don't know. I think I would want the book.
I definitely beer cocktail book. Like how many people out here got a beer cocktail book in their pantry?
It don't exist. That's why I was gonna write one.
Oh yeah, see, you want it.
That's why you should write one. Yeah, you found that niche. You found a niche.
I try.
I have one more question. I have one more question. If we asking questions still, you talked about you like to deep dive into certain things. What other besides beer would you like to talk about that you had a deep dive into? I'm just curious.
Plants. I have been since the pandemic. I just became a serious plant mom. I've always liked flowers and sort of from like I live in like a condo, so I've always had like a outdoor patio plant situation. But inside in my house, I have probably 45 plants. Nice. I love all different varieties. I love.
Is this just since the pandemic?
It grew crazy during the pandemic.
I see you got one great choke you in the back, like climb on your back.
Seymour back there.
This is my niece's house. She's
you know what? Earlier you said you was having a party at your niece's house, and I was like, she's been drinking all day.
Oh, so you already there?
But she already there. That's good money. That's good money. That's good money.
It's a bedroom next door. They know me they know their auntie.
I knew she was already there because before y'all got on, I heard the party was already happening. I heard it on the back.
The party's still going. Look, took time out the party.
It doesn't start until 4, so
they was already there. People there.
Sunday.
That's why she's drinking vodka right now. It's like I can't go out after the podcast and have to catch up. I'm gonna be already lit.
That sounds like a good sign to me.
Well, what type of do you have a particular favorite style of plant? Do you have a particular plant that you like? Like I'm a succulent guy.
Okay. Oh, see, I don't do well with succulents.
That's why I can do them. Succulents don't die on me. Succulents stay alive. You only got to water them once a week or once a month.
Yeah.
You can
make sure he take care of those because they call succulents. Perv.
You know why those don't do well for me is because I'm an overly attentive plant mom, so I like plants that need attention. I kill my succulents because they don't need you.
They do not want to talk to you. Nah, talk to them, but don't be putting no water and fertilizer in them every day.
They don't want anything, so I killed them. But I like
once a week is too much. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is, and that's boring. That's boring. I want to plant. That's why I got a lot of plants too. They're all on different schedules. But my favorite is probably anything in the Callipia family. So prayer plants. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're the plants that actually move during light. So they open up when there's more light, and when at night they close. And they're so fun. They're fun because like you'll see them moving in your peripheral vision, like And you'll hear them. They snap sometimes, and I have
I don't know about that.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
And then they'll be like the next day they'll be this way, and then at night they'll be
wherever
that
the
way.
Sun's
Like, what's going on here? Wait a minute.
These niggas out here talking to me and moving. Oh, I like that. I like that.
I love them, but they're very temperamental and can be kind of hard to take care of. So I like them a lot.
Tamara, I saw the score. I saw the score, Tamara. We are definitely better than that goddamn game. For sure.
How bad she said that.
Well, I think she was first saying she said hello first.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Hey.
I didn't see that part.
That's my girl. What's up, Tamara?
Yeah, cool.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Jen? We don't want to keep her waiting too long.
Yeah, the party going on outside that door. She gotta get through it.
Right.
You got any questions for us, Jen?
You don't have to make up one.
Really.
No, you don't have to make up one. I'm just gonna. Hey guys, I'm gonna start asking this every week though. I'm gonna start asking this to all of our guests though at the end.
Do people have questions of y'all? Yeah, it's been a good conversation. I mean, I don't know how often you guys get Georgia beers where you are, but
when Will sends them to us is pretty much the only time.
When Wham. Yeah. There's also William Teasley from Conso. I wasn't sure which one you were talking to.
We talking about
are y'all all in the same area?
Yeah, we're all in the same area.
All in the 302.
Send y'all some beer mail. Send me your address. I'll send y'all some.
Oh yeah, so if you send them to one, you'll get them to all of us.
Of course.
Yeah. Within a week or two, we'll all have it.
Maybe.
Right.
It is cold.
Holiday shipping is a bitch. So
take your time. Do it in January. Doing on Martin Luther King shipping is much cheaper. Shipping on Martin.
Is it?
Free at last?
I feel like it should be.
It should be free.
If you walk into the post office and you say, "Look at me, I'm black," Martin Luther King Day, it should be at least a discount.
Something.
No, it's definitely cheaper than the holiday. That holiday ain't as expensive as the holiday.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, that is facts. All right. If there's any more questions, no more questions, I would like to thank Jen for coming through.
Yes, thank you, Jen.
So much fun.
Yes. Anytime. Love to have you.
This has been great. Thank you so much.
Well, we're glad that you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
So when we come to Atlanta in May, we're going
to see y'all in Atlanta in May for the conference.
Yes. For sure. Conference, birthday party celebration, all that.
Right.
Yeah. True. Before we go, we always like to know how people can find you on these worldwide webs and know about what's going on for Crafted for Action. So how can they find about where the book is at, where they can go to Crafted for Action? How can they find who Jen Price is, what she's doing next, and what Crafted for Action is doing next?
That's right. Well, the book is available on Amazon. It's The Chick's Guide to Beer. So you can Google it. It should come up. There's also a website for it, I think. I don't know. I haven't checked that site in a long time. I should probably look into that. But yeah, The Chick's Guide to Beer is on Amazon. You can follow Crafted for Action or ATL Beer Boutique on Instagram. Crafted for Action is brand new. Like it's probably like 2 posts on there because I ran everything from ATL Beer Boutique for the conference this year, but the goal for next year is to just give new life to that and create a whole new following for Crafted for Action, and that's the events company. And then if you're interested in being a part of Craft Women Connect, if you're a lady and just want to follow us, or anybody can follow us on Instagram, it's Craft Women Connect. And on Facebook, we have a private group for ladies where we talk about how horrible men are. And I'm just kidding.
She said private group. I was like, you can't get in that motherfucker at all.
Everybody thinks that. We don't be talking about
beer and bastard ass men. That's what they
talking about y'all.
She be like, girl, I like plants that need attention, but not no men.
Not no men.
Everybody thinks that.
I talk to my plants. They always be nice to me. They open and close when I say it. Everything. I don't want to be part of your group anyway, Jen.
We very rarely talk about y'all.
So it does happen. It does happen.
It shouldn't happen a lot, but rarely is enough.
At one time. When they really piss me off, I gotta go in there and talk about it.
That nigga that got in that chat, he's a Hall of Fame motherfucker right there. Whatever he did was trash as hell.
Facts.
Well, that's it. Yeah, ATL Beer Boutique and at Crafting for Action. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Nice. All right, Lou.
I am on them Instagrams. My name is Lou Belgium.
On them Instagrams. It's just one.
Is it though? Meta be coming out with all these new things, man. Like they be changing their name, then they be doing Facebooks, then they be stealing Instagrams, and WhatsApp is out now. Yeah, man. So you just say Instagram. You just say Instagrams. They be doing the WhatsApps.
Yeah, they want Meta just try to
WhatsApps. The Meta's
conglomerate.
All them
they're doing their conglomerate things. That's what conglomerates do. They just buy up stuff.
Out here, man. Yeah, face spaces, the my books, all of them out here just crazy. Acting a goddamn fool. But yeah, I'm on the Instagram, on the Twitters, on the Twitters and everything.
All right. Yo,
how can they find you, Yoda? How can they find
you? Find me on Instagram at IM302YODA.
All right. You can find Bruising Banter Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Twitter.
That hard ER this day.
That's right. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can even say, "Hey Alexa, play Bruising Banter Podcast," because we are on Amazon Music as well. Want to follow Rob G? There I am, Rob Stay Bruising. Bing, 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 bing,
bing bong.
Yeah, you can also watch. You can also watch this on Facebook Live, and you also can check us on YouTube. Remember to smash that like button. Smash that like button. Go to www.bruisingbanter.com and get the merch. There you go. There it is.
There's that merch
right there. There it is. And yeah, this has been episode 146. Want to again thank Jen Price for coming through.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming through and having a few with the crew. Until next time,
have a good week.
Shout out to Dave out in the streets.
And shout out to Tamara, because I do be trying to be deep. I'll definitely be being deep. See you, Dev. Be safe on the ride home.
You were warm and wonderful once upon a time, but now we're frozen, hanging by a thread. Can we wait a minute? Or can we just try